spotting people in a low vibrational pattern is going to be really helpful for what's around you. Okay, so this is going to get a little woo-woo, but you know, I'm at one with the universe. I teach people crystals. I do all of this stuff, and I'm big on vibrational patterns. And how you spot other people's low vibrational patterns is to go inward first. Because now, let's say you're on this growth journey, right? Because you can't see you're in low vibrational pattern when you're in it. You're just like it's everybody else, right? That's how you know you're in low vibrational, when you're blaming everybody else, where you're still living in victim mentality, where you are expecting you out of people, where you're critical, not just judgy, but you're like hypercritical of people. That's just a few things we're talking about in a minute that keep you in a low vibrational pattern, right? Think of it as like the low hanging fruit. So when you start going, God, why are these people feeling so toxic to me, or it feels so draining, right? As you start to elevate your vibration, and this low vibration frequency is here, and when these people are still in your, this doesn't mean you're better than anybody, by the way. This is just high vibration, low vibration. Everybody's still equal, just vibrational patterns. And so when a person is vibrating here, this is where those insecurities, the judgments, the self-doubts, the fear of failures, all of these things are here. So as you start to grow, I said start to grow, you don't end up here. As you start to grow and you start to vibrate higher, this is why you want to be careful of the people in your circle. Okay, when you're in a low vibrational pattern, I'm talking about you, if you're in a low vibrational pattern and people are distancing from you, they have that right to do, because you're low vibrational. They don't have to stay there and pull your vibration up. That is not their responsibility. So it's the same way, right? You're not leaving somebody, you're not neglecting somebody. Low vibrational people are committed to staying there until they're not, right? We're all been there, until you get tired of vibrating low and you get tired of feeling like, oh my God, it's everybody else. Everything is heavy. Everything is hard. You're going to get tired of being there. At some point, you're going to get tired of being there, and you might be tired of being there now, but then you're going to have to move on from that. You're going to have to do the work to get there. So spotting another person in low vibration, instead of being judgy and being like, well, look at them, they're low vibrational. Go inside of yourself, because this is what's going to prevent you from taking on their stuff as personal and you to get activated by it. You're going to get no activation once you remember what it was like when you were in a low vibrational pattern. So instead of getting upset and your panties in an bunch and an uproar because they're being critical or they're judging you or they're doing all of those things, instead of getting yourself all worked up by it, you have to remember you're dealing with a low vibrational pattern with somebody. You remember what it was like. You remember what it was like to be insecure, or to feel like you wanted to blame everybody else, or to feel like you just wanted people to suffer. And okay, a lot of you are going to remember this. So don't think just because you're on this growth journey that everybody else is going to get on the same journey at the same time. It's just not going to happen. So in order to spot them, this is where you are going to learn to really lean on your growing process. What are you willing to do to distance from them, while giving them grace, right? Because let me tell you, you remember what it was like. You remember what it was like when you felt like everybody was judging you and all of those things, because you're in a low vibrational pattern. So don't forget where you came from when you were in this unhealed space, and you're healing. You're never going to be healed. You're healing, and they're not. So don't take it personal, because then you actually flip it and make it about you. Like, well, but I'm making changes. Yeah, you're making changes. That doesn't mean they're going to make those changes or the changes you want to make. Then if you still get activated and go, but I'm making those changes, you're not as growing as much as you think you are. And that's okay. See, when you are starting on that, and let's say you're really vibrating really high, you're not letting anybody else mess with you. You're just not. Like, you're a human being. You're not a Roomba vacuum cleaner. You're a human. You might get a little annoyed for a minute. You're like, oh God, that's where they are. Remember, these things that irritate you, that you start to take personal, are a sign of the areas that you still need to work on. Is it because you feel like you're not being acknowledged? Is it because you feel like, not that people should celebrate you, because then you wouldn't be in a healing pattern anyway, but like, it kind of like, like there's a couple things that come into play. So when people are vibrating low, you got to think about this. If everything around you is just rotten. Like everything, just rotten. Everything's around you. And you're standing there and you're like, and you don't really see any kind of greenery in front of you. You're just like, oh. You feel almost less inclined to make effort. You're just like, oh my God, I don't want to be here, but this is all I see. And then you go through that disappointment. You go through discouragement. You do all of that. And it's hard to grow and vibrate high in a low vibrational situation. Now, I understand some of you can't just up and leave a situation. I understand. But if you're working towards that, it's going to give you at least sort of a light at the end of the tunnel so you can know that we can start working on that growth journey. There's no scenario where you can really heal in a toxic environment, which is why you get discouraged a lot, because you're like, oh God, now what? But I'll tell you, if you start putting a plan, and there is one that you can always make, I promise. If you start putting a plan in motion, it's kind of like, side note, it's kind of like being at a job and you're like, oh my God, this just is so toxic. And there's all kinds of low vibrational people there. And by the way, that could be anywhere. So you got to be careful jumping from here to here to here to here, looking for some blissful place. It may never be. That's why you want to protect your peace. However, let's say it's really problematic and you're like, I am done with this place. Okay, well, barring being independently wealthy, you're still going to probably need to work. So instead of getting caught up in this, just because it's close to home, okay, doesn't matter. Let's look for something else. I promise you there are other jobs and careers and professions out there for you. I promise you. I promise you. But let's say it's like, listen, I'm trying, like I put my stuff out on Indeed and I'm doing all of those things. Okay, don't get discouraged by that. Just keep looking, keep following up, keep looking in different directions. That's going to help you not kind of marinate in that low vibrational pattern because you feel like you're out of control. Low vibration means I can only see the problem. The solution seems impossible, and I'm not really looking for the solution. You are, but you're not. Right? So when you start to shift that perspective and say, okay, well, obviously I can't just, unless, again, hit the lottery, cool. But even then, you're not just going to sit around and do nothing. Like, you're just not. You can only travel so much. You can only shop so much. You can only do things so much. Like, you'd still have to do something. You're still going to be around people. So, but what you have to remember is if you stay in the stuck mentality, like, and I promise you, oh my God, I lived it. I'm writing about it in my second book. The amount of times that I have felt like, oh my gosh, there is no way out. Like, not once, not so much now, because I'm trying to, even if it's stressful, listen, life is going to be stressful. Life is going to send you weird curveballs you never asked for. I don't care how prepared you are. I don't care how confident you are. That's life is going to life for you. Okay. But it's, how are you going to see it? You're going to allow yourself to process your feelings. You're going to allow yourself to sit in it, be a little taken aback because you're a human being, but I need you to regroup. 5 journals, go to my, playlist here on YouTube, go to the 5 journal series. It's going to be very, very helpful. It helps you sort of compartmentalize. But then you have got to say, don't fall in love with the fantasy of how you wish it was and how it could have been and why didn't this happen? Cool. We're not there. Low vibration, past thinking. So as you elevate that vibration, you start looking for more opportunities. And yeah, you're going to be disappointed at times. So just okay. You'll be more disappointed if you just stay in the mindset. So by you looking at other people's low vibrational patterns from where your low vibrational patterns were, then you're more aware when your low vibrations start to seep in, right? Because you're going to be up here. It takes work. To be up here is going to take you work every single day. So once other people have these low vibrational patterns, it's a very automatic process for you. So it's real easy for you to be like, oh, here we go. Because now you're like, oh yeah, well, I need to defend myself. Oh yeah, well, I don't understand. But why aren't you? See what I mean? Like, it's real easy to go there. So that's why, as much as you can, with as many things that you can control in your mindset and people around you, you want them to vibrate at a higher level. And unfortunately, that means you might have to clear your circle completely. Maybe not, though. Don't focus on them right now. You focus on you. But you can be aware of the people around you too. If you feel more drained than not, right? If you ever, it's like energy sucker, right? Like energy vampire. Like if you see that you're more like, oh my God, know that they are that their presence is sucking you down. Okay. And you just can't do that. But once you're aware, you'll be more aware, and you'll be more aware when you drop low vibrational, when you start drifting into the judgment and you start drifting into that. It's okay. It's okay. But the minimalization of the low vibrational pattern around you is going to help you at least establish more of a foundation to continue your high vibrational patterns.